Media obsesses over median price movements as the best, indeed the only, monitor of property markets. But reports on median house prices in the past month or the past quarter or the past year tell us what happened in the recent past, allegedly because the various sources often disagree on that point. The median price data may be interesting, but it doesn't tell us what will happen in the future. And the future is what most Australian consumers want to know about. Consumers trying to make decisions about whether to buy or sell real estate or where to buy or sell real estate need information that provides a clue to the movements of prices in the future. Knowing what happened to prices last month or last year doesn't necessarily assist, because often in real estate, the past does not inform the future. And when prices in Sydney and Brisbane, for example, started to come off the boil early in 2022, well ahead of the interest rate rises, I would emphasise, it came as a surprise to economists and journalists who thought prices would continue rising because that's what happened in the recent past. They failed to see the changes coming. And equally, they failed to understand that cities like Perth and Adelaide, as well as many regional markets, would resist the price decline that occurred in the biggest cities. Now, I say all this because hotspotting predicted all those events. We expected price decline in the biggest cities, well ahead of the interest rate rises, and we forecast ongoing strength in the markets of those smaller cities because we monitor sales activity, and that is the number of sales happening in a given market. Sales volumes are a wonderful forward indicator of what might happen with prices. So we analyse sales activity for every major town and suburb in Australia 4 times a year. In simple terms, if sales volumes are rising quarter by quarter in a particular location, there's a strong likelihood that prices will follow that trend. And also, it works in the other direction. If sales volumes are falling sharply quarter by quarter, then price growth is likely to come to a halt, or prices may fall. Now, the key to using this as a method of predicting price movements is that there's a time lag. Prices don't react immediately to changes in market activity. It takes time for buyers and sellers to understand that change is underway in the market. No one rings a bell to mark the bottom or the top of the real estate cycle. Usually people find out something has changed when they read about it in the media. And by the time that happens, it's already old news. Regular monitoring of sales activity in markets across Australia allows us to see the changes in price performance before they happen, and that's the key thing. So what does the latest analysis tell us about what to expect with prices as 2023 unfolds? Some of the key trends are these. There were signs of revival in Sydney in late 2022 and early 2023, and that is starting to produce small increases in median prices. Another point that's revealed is that Perth, Adelaide and Darwin continue to produce solid sales activity, and prices in those cities are holding up well against the downturn pressures. Also, key regional markets continue to attract good buyer demand. For example, many locations in regional Queensland still have busy markets, but that does not include the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast, which are well past their peaks in terms of sales activity. And the trend also applies to some of the iconic sea change locations elsewhere in Australia, including Byron Bay and the Central Coast, which have had extraordinary price growth in the recent past, but sales activity has dropped considerably since then. As we head deeper into 2023, I do expect sales activity to pick up and more of the markets across Australia. Consumer sentiment is quite strong, as depicted by the recent Westpac index. Unemployment continues to be low, and the pause in the cycle of rising interest rates will add to that improvement. We're likely to see more property owners list their properties for sale, and higher listing levels will generate more market activity.